Oh, the irony. David Bernstein was in Switzerland in his capacity as chairman of the British Red Cross when he took a phone call ousting him as chairman of Ted Baker on Monday evening.Forget the Red Cross. It's the fashion retailer which requires emergency aid. In the 9 months since founder Ray Kelvin quit as chief executive amid allegations, denied by him, about his behaviour towards employees, the company has issued 3 profit warnings, bungled its accounting of stock and seen its shares tank by over 80%. Bernstein's elevation to the role of executive chairman in March came with a £117,000 bump to his pay package. Yet asked by a group of investors just before his exit to justify his fees, he acknowledged that he worked only 2 or 3 days a week. Challenged about how many times he had visited Ted Baker's operations in the US and Asia, he told them, "I don't travel." According to one insider.If that's hands-on management, it's hardly surprising that the company is in a mess. Lindsay Page could not survive as chief executive once the inventory problem became clear, given his long tenure as finance director. And with Rachel Osborne, only recently recruited as finance chief from Debenhams, stepping up temporarily to replace Page, it leaves Ted Baker staring over the precipice into a retail maelstrom with a makeshift leadership team. That's compounded by other boardroom failings. Ronald Stewart, the senior independent director, has been a director for over 10 years, exceeding corporate governance guidelines, and Sharon Baylay, who led Bernstein's defenestration and was immediately installed as acting chair, is likely to face stiff scrutiny if she puts her hand up for the role on a permanent basis. According to insiders.Even, after this week's share price falls, it remains an open question as to whether Ted Baker is cheap. Christmas trading figures out next month will provide a clearer picture of the brand's prospects. That may well spur Kelvin's desire to return in some capacity. After all, with 35% of the shares, he has more skin in the game than anyone. Blue-chip shareholders such as Columbia Threadneedle, Schroders and T. Rowe Price might well support some form of comeback. After an epic episode of corporate mismanagement, Ted Baker's corporate first aid cannot come soon enough. Unblocking Centrica. It's a familiar feeling to most of us. Find a blockage in the plumbing of our home, call an expert and then wait ages before realizing we could have solved the problem ourselves. Running Centrica, the owner of drainage specialist Dino Rod, must feel a bit like that. The UK's biggest gas and electricity supplier has certainly been waiting ages for a new boss. In Connecticut, the chief executive said in July that he would step down next year, meaning an appointment should by now be relatively imminent. His tenure was not a happy one. With the shares. For more on this story, visit the news article link.